Welcome, space explorers! Today we're diving into one of humanity's wildest dreams, sending SpaceX's Starship to Mars. This isn't just a rocket, it's a beast of engineering designed to conquer the red planet. Let's start with the basics. How big is Starship? Picture this. It's a towering 121 meters tall when stacked with its super heavy booster. That's 398 feet, or about as tall as a 40-story building. It's 9 meters wide, 30 feet, wider than a school bus is long. Fully fueled, it weighs around 5,000 tons. That's like stacking 25 blue whales on top of each other. This isn't just a rocket. It's a mobile skyscraper built to haul up to 100 people or 150 tons of cargo to Mars. Elon Musk isn't messing around. This thing is designed to colonize another planet. Now, how does it get to Mars? It all starts with the launch. Starship blasts off from Earth atop its super heavy booster, powered by 33 Raptor engines guzzling liquid methane and oxygen, methalox as the cool kids call it. Once it reaches low Earth orbit, it doesn't just coast off to Mars yet. Nope, it needs a pit stop. Starship rendezvous with a tanker version of itself, another Starship loaded with fuel. Through some slick ship-to-ship refueling, it tops off its tanks with about 1,200 tons of propellant. Imagine pulling up to a cosmic gas station mid-orbit. SpaceX estimates it'll take 6 to 8 tanker trips to fully refuel one Mars-bound Starship. Once it's juiced up, those Raptor engines fire again, and it's off to the red planet. So, how fast does Starship go in space? Once it's on its way, it's cruising at about 62,000 miles per hour. For context, that's over 81 times the speed of sound here on Earth, where sound travels at about 767 miles per hour. In space, there's no air, so no sonic booms, just pure, silent speed. That velocity comes from escaping Earth's gravity and slingshotting toward Mars on what's called a Hohmann transfer orbit, a fuel-efficient path that takes advantage of planetary alignment. Speaking of Mars, how far is it? On average, Mars is 225 million kilometers away, 140 million miles. But that distance changes because both planets orbit the Sun in ellipses. At their closest, it's just 56 million kilometers. At their farthest, over 400 million. Starship launches when Earth and Mars are aligned just right, every 26 months, cutting the trip to about 225 million kilometers. How long does that take? With current tech, it's roughly 6 to 9 months, 180 to 270 days, depending on the launch window and how much fuel Starship burns to speed things up. Elon Musk dreams of slashing that to 80 days with future tweaks. Imagine spending 6 months in a metal tube hurtling through space. Better pack some good snacks. But here's the catch. Space isn't a peaceful cruise. It's a radiation gauntlet. Beyond Earth's magnetic shield, you've got solar flares spitting out high-energy protons and galactic cosmic rays, supercharged particles from exploded stars zipping near light speed. On a 6-month trip to Mars, astronauts could face 1,000 millisieverts of radiation, way more than the 72 millisieverts you'd get in 6 months on the International Space Station. That's enough to hike cancer risk and mess with your brain and heart. It's like living next to a cosmic X-ray machine with no off switch. So how do you protect the crew? One trick is water. It's not just for drinking, it's a radiation shield. Water's hydrogen atoms are great at absorbing those nasty particles. Studies suggest a 20-centimeter thick layer of water, about 8 inches, can cut radiation exposure by up to 50%. That's why Starship might line its crew areas with water tanks or even use fuel as a shield. Picture this. You're sipping your morning coffee and the wall behind you is quietly soaking up cosmic rays. Genius, right? NASA's even testing materials like hydrogenated boron nitride nanotubes, but water's a cheap, reliable MVP for now. Now, the big moment. Landing on Mars. Starship doesn't mess around with parachutes. Mars' thin atmosphere, just 1% of Earth's, isn't thick enough for that. Instead, it pulls off a wild maneuver. It flips belly first, using its heat shield to slow down from 16,000 miles per hour as it slices through the atmosphere. Then, just before touchdown, it flips upright, firing its Raptor engines in a retro-propulsive landing. like Iron Man sticking the landing with thrusters. It touches down at about 5 meters per second, 11 miles per hour, on 6 sturdy legs. This reusable trick lets it land, refuel with Martian resources, and blast off again. No disposable landers here. But where's the best spot to land? Mars is tricky. Craggy highlands, dusty plains, and a pesky atmosphere that's thick enough to burn you up but too thin to break easily. Jezero crater's a top pick for NASA, loaded with ancient river deltas and potential signs of past life. SpaceX might eye Elysium Planitia, flat near the equator and packed with subsurface ice for fuel and water. The winner? Depends on the goal. Science says Jezero. Colony building screams Elysium. Either way, Starship's precision landing tech, honed on Earth, means it can hit a bullseye smaller than a football field. So, there you have it, Starship to Mars in all its glory. A giant rocket, insane speeds, cosmic pit stops, radiation shields, and a superhero landing. It's not just a trip, it's the start of a multiplanetary future. What do you think? Ready to book your ticket? Drop a comment, hit that like button, and subscribe for more space adventures. Until next time, keep looking up.